And Meg McCaffrey? Oh, Meg, where were you?
Do what you need to do, she had told me. That's my final order.
Her order had been vague enough to allow me to pursue her. After all, we were bound together now. What I needed to do was to find her. I wondered if Meg had phrased her order that way on purpose, or if that was just wishful thinking on my part. I gazed up at the serene alabaster face of Athena. In real life, she didn't look so pale and aloof. Well, not most of the time, anyway. I pondered why the sculptor, Phidias, had chosen me to make her look so unapproachable, and whether Athena approved. We gods often debated how much humans could change our very nature simply by the way they pictured or imagined us. During the 18th century, for instance, I could not escape the white powdered wig, no matter how hard I tried. Among immortals, our reliance on humans was an uncomfortable subject. Perhaps I deserved my present form. After my carelessness and foolishness, perhaps humanity should see me as nothing but Lester Papadopoulos. I heaved a sigh. Athena, what would you do in my place? Something wise and practical, I suppose. Athena offered no response. She stared calmly at the horizon, taking the long view in, as always. I didn't need the wisdom of goddesses to tell me what I must do. I should leave Camp Half-Blood immediately before the campers woke. They had taken me in to protect me, and I had nearly gotten them all killed. I couldn't bear to endanger them any longer. But, oh, how I wanted to stay with Will, Kayla, Austin, my mortal children. I wanted to help Harley put smiley faces on his flamethrower. I wanted to flirt with Chiara and steal her away from Damien. Or perhaps steal Damien away from Chiara. I wasn't sure yet. I wanted to improve my music and archery, though that strange activity known as practice. I wanted to have a home. Leave, I told myself. Hurry. Because I was a coward, I waited too long. Below me, the cabin lights flickered on. Campers emerged from their doorways. Sherman Yang began his morning stretches. Harley jogged around the green, holding his Leo Valdez beacon high with the hope that it would finally work. At last, a pair of familiar figures spotted me. They approached me from different directions, the big house and cabin 3. Hiking up the hill to see me, Rachel Dare and Percy Jackson.
I know what you're thinking, Rachel said. Don't do it.
I feigned surprise. Can you read my mind, Miss Dare?
I don't need to. I know you, Lord Apollo.
A week ago, that idea would have made me laugh. A mortal could not know me. I have lived for 4 millennia. Merely looking upon my true form would have vaporized any human. Now, though, Rachel's words seem perfectly reasonable. With Lester Papadopoulos, what you saw was what you got. There really wasn't much to know. Don't call me Lord, I sighed. I am just a mortal teen. I do not belong at this camp. Percy sat next to me. He squinted at the sunrise, the sea breeze tousling his hair. Yeah, I used to think I didn't belong here either. It's not the same, I said. You humans change and grow and mature. Gods do not. Percy faced me. You sure about that? You seem pretty different. I think he meant that as a compliment, but I didn't find his words reassuring. If I was becoming more fully human, that was hardly a cause for celebration. True, I had mustered a few godly powers at important moments, a burst of divine strength against the Germani, a hay fever arrow against the Colossus, but I could not rely on those abilities. I didn't even understand how I had summoned them. The fact that I had limits, and that I couldn't be sure where those limits were, well, that made me feel much more like Lester Papadopoulos than Apollo. The other oracles must be found and secured, I said. I cannot do that unless I leave Camp Half-Blood, and I cannot risk anyone else's life. Rachel sat on my other side. You sound certain. Did you get a prophecy from the grove? I shuddered. I fear so.